So for instance, if we're doing a review of a timeline or the cruise plan for tomorrow, we may tell the team, okay, you start out
My
with
God!
the normal color.
This
And
is
you may tell the
riveting!
team, go green
How
when
has
you
this
get
never
to the
made into a
timeline,
game?
and go yellow if you have fun. So when the pod looks around the room, it's easy to say who's good or who's not, and we can concentrate on the people that need attention.
Well, we know how we feel about the room, but let's hear what International Space Station Program Manager Mike Staffordini, what he thought about it.
What's going on, guys? What's going on, guys? What's going on, guys? What's going on, Basement Bullet? Guys, I'm up here in Forest Lake visiting the video game store in the far north. Where is the laser? I want the laser. This sucks. Oh, can't stop that stuff. You gotta punch it. Yeah. If there's one thing that has captured the interest of children and adults alike, it's space travel. When I was growing up, there was The Last Starfighter, Flight of the Navigator, The Explorers, Space Camp, Space Everything. The thought of leaving this tiny blue orb hovering in the blackness of space and exploring the vast expanse of the unknown brought endless possibilities to the imagination. Imagine yourself to be the first man to be launched into the heavens, to explore Mars for the first time, to explore the moons of Jupiter and Saturn, to potentially find microbial life that finally answers the question, are we alone? Or imagine how amazing it would be to launch satellites into low Earth orbit, repair and replace the panels on the International Space Station, retrieve and relaunch another satellite, construct more panels for the space station. Yeah, I think you know where this is going. Space Shuttle Project. Yeah, the name sounds less like a game and more like a seminar. The game is definitely a product of its time. In 1981, Columbia became the first of the shuttles to reach orbit. It was a monumental moment in the space age. Astronauts could be shuttled into space for a fraction of the price of a conventional rocket. In the following years, the space shuttles Challenger, Atlantis, Discovery, and Endeavour would launch into orbit, releasing satellites, probes, the Hubble telescope, and parts for the International Space Station. These space shuttle missions are what the game is based on. To the fullest. What is so perplexing about this game is, even though it feels like something that would have originally been released on DOS, it wasn't. This game was released exclusively on the NES. The same system that brought us Gradius, Life Force, and Guardian Legend is taking us to a different aspect of space gaming. Reality. You start off at a screen where you enter your name. Under that, there's a series of 4 numbers and the names of all the shuttles, except Challenger because...
1 minute 15 seconds, velocity 2900.
I do find it strange that they included the Enterprise on here. It was more of a prototype that was used in the late 1970s, but not for any actual space shuttle missions. Alright, after entering my name, I hit end and the game begins. Or not? Can I please just start the game? You know what I'm doing wrong? It actually took me a bit to realize what's going on here. The numbers and ship name all individually flash once before cycling. You need to remember what you just saw and key in that code. You only get one attempt. If you mess up any of the numbers or enter the wrong ship, it'll reset and you'll have to key in a series of new numbers. And you want to know what's worse? See that number up in the corner? That's not only my number of attempts to log into the security, those are my attempts in the entire game. I've never seen a game make a game out of entering your name on the name screen.
You can actually lose the game entering your name.
See? I should have 5 lives, but since I screwed up a few times, I'm down to 2. If you miskey your code or ship in the beginning, you might as well reset the game.
And that is some grade A pile of Sputnik.
Once you've mastered entering your name, you're given your first mission, Release Surveillance Satellite. Each mission is split up into 4 stages. Stage 1 is Fuel and Board Shuttle. This is your list of objectives. Don't worry, you don't have to memorize them. The game highlights where you have to go. Alrighty, I am entering the elevator. I am turning on the oxygen fuel switch. I'm turning on the hydrogen fuel switch. Opening the orbital hatch. Oh yeah, I need a crew. You know, it would have been more efficient if they just rode up with me. Yeah, pilot seems necessary. Oh man, I'm almost out of time.
Wow. To the last second.
Stage 2. The game cuts to the cockpit during countdown for no reason other than dramatic effect. After the countdown reaches 0, the shuttle launches and you have to do a variety of things on the meter to keep the shuttle on course. The first thing you have to do is roll. You do this by hitting the A button when the sliding cursor lands in the highlighted area. It's not too hard, but it's easy to miss if you aren't paying close attention. After that is the thrusting. You need to move the bottom arrow in unison with the arrow on the top. Next is booster separation. This is the same as roll. You just need to land the cursor in the highlighted area. What follows are a variety of what you've already done until you reach low Earth orbit. Here, you hover upside down for a bit until the title for Stage 3 comes up. Stage 3, Extravehicular Activities.
Alright, I need to launch a satellite into orbit. Hang on, guys. This is gonna get exciting. Well, apparently I'm supposed to dodge those. It is really hard to slow down in this game.
It makes sense, though. You can't just come to a sudden stop in space. You need to fire rockets and boosters in the opposite direction to slow down your momentum. This game captures that quite well, but I can assure you that even though there are a ton of satellites orbiting Earth, they are not so close together that they form a stage of Frogger.
Well, no continues. Sort of.
You know that series of numbers that you enter at the beginning? Well, that's also where you enter in your passcode for starting on the mission where you left off. You'd think you'd just enter your original code that you started to continue? Hell no! You get a new 4-digit code along with the space shuttle when you complete each mission.
So, basically, this code at the beginning of the game serves absolutely no purpose whatsoever. It's just a mini game in the beginning to eat up your lives before you can even start playing the game.
When you continue, you start at the mission, not the stage, the mission where you left off. Since I was on mission 1 still, I have to do all this crap over again. Not that it's hard, it's just time consuming, and I want another shot where I left off. Okay, I'm back in orbit.
Alright, let's do this. What That didn't count? God damn it! What am I doing wrong?
Okay, you guys, I have figured it out. I was only off by a second. The satellite needs a couple of seconds to open up its solar arrays before it begins orbiting. I wasn't giving it enough time to do that. What you need to do is put the satellite in orbit just after the final satellite has passed the center of the screen. Once it's in place, the panels will open and it'll start orbiting before the satellite can come around again. By the way, those white orbs that I've been avoiding, yeah, those are extra lives. You want to ram those. Stage 4, re-enter atmosphere and land. Well, that seems like it would be easy. You just do the same thing as taking off, right? Kind of. They do change it up on you a bit. Instead of hitting A like you did before, you need to hit the directional pad in the direction that is displayed on the panel when the cursor moves over the highlighted gap. Do this enough times, and you succeed in re-entering Earth's atmosphere. Mission 2. Start space station construction.
Alright, time to cement my name in history.
Just like Mission 1, you have to get your crew up into the space shuttle. First, you have to turn on everything, get the crew... one at a time. Then you have to press buttons and match arrows. It's the same as Mission 1, so I'll skip ahead to the actual space station part. You leave the shuttle with parts for the space station. You navigate around obstacles and place them in the open holes. Not too difficult, right? Well, you see that bar in the upper left corner? That's your oxygen. If it runs out, you die. You need to make sure that you take the time to hover over those oxygen thingies there to refill your air. There's one at the start and one at the end of the space station. Even though the play control is awkward, as it should be in space, I found this mission way easier than the first one. Mission 3. Retrieve and repair satellite.
Terrific, more satellites.
Alright, turn the shuttle on and get an even larger crew. One at a time. Oh, God. Ugh. Oh man, this is taking forever.
Oh God. Oh God, this is gonna be close. This is gonna be close. This was... I was right there! Seriously? I was right there! I hate you, space.
Okay, let's try this again. One at a time. Dodge, dodge, dodge the Whoppers, Candy. And grab the satellite out of orbit, bring it back to your shuttle, wait a few seconds for it to be repaired, and put it back into orbit. That's all there is to it. Then comes the tedious process of re-entry, which, again, I will skip. Mission 4. Continue space station construction.
Sensing a pattern here.
Turn everything on and get the crew. Man, these platforms are getting seriously difficult to navigate around. Who built these?
Alright. The crew is got and lifting into orbit.
This construction stage is way longer and way more difficult than Mission 2. Someone decided it was a good idea to install 2 beams of light that will likely kill me if I touch them.
Want me to touch them and find out? Well, I'm not going to.
Once you replace all the panels, you get back into the shuttle and prepare for departure. It's the same drill as it is in all the missions. Mission 5. Rescue Maroon Soviet Cosmonaut.
Wow! You mean I don't have to rescue another satellite?
Alright, let's turn on everything.
Now this is getting ridiculous. Did Dr. Wily build these launch platforms?
Ugh. Okay, this shuttle is more full than Bill and Ted's phone booth. Let's launch. Whoppers, candy, and satellites are out for blood in this mission as you cross the vastness of space to reach a cosmonaut stuck on a Soviet satellite. Along with the space junk is an oxygen tank where you can fill up. If you can avoid hitting all the junk and get back to the shuttle, you've almost finished the mission. You just need to get your re-entry steps completed. Once you've done that, Mikhail Gorbachev, complete with his birthmark, thanks you for rescuing the cosmonaut. Mission 6. Complete space station construction. Starting the boarding process.
I hate you, space.
This stage is ridiculous. It is long and everything's flying at what feels like light speed. While I was away rescuing cosmonauts, they seem to have installed pistons that can crush you. My God! I can see why NASA has had so many problems over the years. It's not just Dr. Wily, they have Dracula crafting the blueprints as well. After a long time of going back and forth, you complete the space station and head back to Earth for one last re-entry. Waiting for you is a fireworks display, and George Bush and Dan Quayle congratulating you on a job well done.
Thank you, Mr. President. I look forward to working with you in the bazillion Desert Storm games that'll be released in the next few years. So, is this a bad game? I kinda have a mixed opinion about it.
With a name like Space Shuttle Project, I wasn't expecting an action-packed space shooting adventure. Honestly, I don't know what I was expecting. The amount of things that have to fall into line perfectly to ensure a space shuttle mission is successful is astronomical. No pun intended. This game captures that in a series of different stages where you have little room for error. If you're only off by a little, the whole mission can fail. Just like in real life. Of course, in real life, it wouldn't be dodging moving equipment while going up an elevator. It would be advanced mathematical calculations. The inertia generated to move and stop in space is actually pretty well done. You need to plan ahead on how much speed you want to generate in order to get to another spot on the stage without hitting all the obstacles. It takes a bit of getting used to, as it would actually learning how to maneuver in a vacuum.
Now, would I recommend this game? Probably not.
On the whole, it's just not really that fun to play. It's challenging, and the spacewalk missions can be kind of fun, but the rest of the stages are more of an obstruction to what feels like the real game. I personally can't stand the elevator stages, especially in the later missions. The re-entry part of the game gets to be way too much as well. I would have enjoyed a Top Gun style approach to landing the shuttle rather than pressing all these different button combinations until you safely land. And for those of you that have played Top Gun, you know that's saying something. I will give it credit for trying something different that's not usually found on home consoles like the NES. It gave you a semi-realistic view of what space travel really is.